has a battle with them now. Close is not good enough. I take it back 2 years ago. We're going 0-0 into the fourth quarter. Give them the credit. They made plays we didn't. Last year was a physical ball game. We hung in there toe-to-toe with them. They made the plays and we didn't. We understand. I understand that being the head coach at LSU, you have to beat Alabama. That's the benchmark.
So, guys, it's clear even before the defending champs arrive here in Atlanta for SEC Media Days, they're the talk of the town as everybody is gunning for that top spot where they currently sit. As he noted, they've gotten close in recent years, but haven't been able to topple the tide. In fact, LSU hasn't walked off the field a winner against Alabama since a 9-6 overtime victory in Tuscaloosa way back in 2011. And Tigers tight end Forrester Moreau tells us there's no doubt that's a game they circle on the schedule every year, but he feels they need to change their mindset in order to get over the hump and have a shot against the Tide.
I think from a mental standpoint, we need to treat that like we treat any other game. We need to go into that week with the same mindset, or else it'll become too big. It'll become too big for us, and we'll be overwhelmed by what happens. I think, and what we did last year, I think we're getting close.
Moving along to the biggest draw of the day, the man with the fattest paycheck here today, Jimbo Fisher, who's one of just 4 active FBS coaches with a national title to his name. And it was clear he was brought to College Station to win another one the moment Texas A&M Chancellor John Sharp handed him a dateless national championship plaque. So when asked what the timeline is for winning that title, he knows the clock is already ticking and expectations are definitely high. But in order to build his program up, he wants his team to have the right mindset.
When you get good in your program, you don't measure yourself against other people. I want us to understand how you got to measure yourself against yourself and the way you work and the way you do things. I mean, your opponents become faceless because tell me who in this league isn't tough. Name me one. I mean, it's the way it is.
We also caught up with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, who talked about the impact the legalization of sports gambling could have on the conference, and it's something that's brought with it calls for a national college football injury report. In fact, the Big 12 is reportedly urging the NCAA Football Committee to draft legislation making an injury report mandatory, something Sankey responded to by noting that the integrity of college football is what needs to be at the center of it all.
We need to think about the dynamics in place around college football, the differences in the NFL, and if we're going to do this on a consistent basis from a national standpoint and understand our motivation.
So I don't know about you, but if Nick Saban is anything like one of his coaching mentors, Bill Belichick, I do not want to be the guy asking him about that injury report. All right, guys, that puts a wrap on day 1 of SEC Media Days here in Atlanta. We're back tomorrow with Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Florida. However, that does it for us tonight. So, guys, back to you in the studio.